is up, everybody? I am Cortland.
And I'm Justin.
This is episode 13. Better Off Reds, your weekly Reds talk show, or recently your bi-weekly Reds talk show.
Try
Check us out
monthly.
on Facebook and YouTube. Also follow us on Twitter. The show will air tonight at 8:30, like it does usually every Thursday night, and our podcast will be up shortly after the show concludes. So, yeah, it's been a while.
It has been, yeah. We had vacations, and then we had birthdays and anniversaries, and like things just kind of kept popping up on Thursdays. And the All-Star break happened, and yeah, it just kind of it was a good time for us to take a small not a break, but just like a small hiatus, just to kind of focus on that. We're coming back after the All-Star break. We're recharged, we're ready to go, just like the Reds, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe not so much them, but yeah. So actually, I did want to pose a question to the people listening, and if you're not watching or listening live, that's fine. You can answer through social media. If the Reds start to really suck and start selling, what would you like for Cortland and I to do? We didn't talk about this before, but do you want us to cover a losing team, or do you want us to talk about something else? Because I mean, we could talk about the Bengals and the Browns and stuff like that, or we could talk about FC Cincinnati and the Crew, or we can talk about I don't know, whatever. What would you like to talk about, Cortland, with the Reds?
Suggestions will be welcome, especially if the trend continues the way it's going. So,
I had to sneeze, so I turned my camera off, but then it didn't happen. So if I disappear, that's why I don't want to sneeze on camera. Yeah, I'm gonna sneeze. This is the worst. Oh brother. So let's jump in. How have you been? How you been doing?
Good. Like you said, we had vacations and everything come up, and it's just been a busy last couple of weeks. The month of July, as I think everybody's probably busy with the holidays and everything. Finishing the summer up, but yeah, not bad. And went to the Reds game yesterday. Was that yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yesterday. And it was not a good one to go to, but it was my son's first game, and he got on TV. So
yeah, you said, oh man, I wish I would have. Hang on, let me find that picture. I'll put it up on the screen if you don't mind.
Yeah.
All right.
He loved it. For being a 4-month-old, I think he had about as much fun as a 4-month-old can have at a baseball game.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't know what the concepts of sports and baseball and really life at this point are. But
anything, yeah, he doesn't know. He literally knows nothing.
Right. So he laughed and smiled and watched the game, and we walked around, and he took a nap, and it was good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Here, I've got the picture here. I will throw that up. So let's see here. Oh, I have to actually click on it. My bad. So that lady in the middle there, that's your wife, and she's holding
my wife,
little Brooks. And then if you see that fella on the right there with the camo hat, that's Cortland.
Yeah, they apparently wanted my kid in the video, not me, which is
they
fine,
didn't want you in there. That's fine. I mean, I completely understand that.
He wouldn't be bad. Ooh, good comment. If you see
comment.
me tapping, go ahead, read that comment.
Yeah, Drew says, well, we're finally back. I'm driving, but can't miss the live show. Drew, be careful, please. I do appreciate you being here, but be careful.
We are not liable.
Yeah, we are not responsible for anything that happens.
If you see me tapping where it has been a while, I could not find my computer charger. Another thing that happened since we've been gone is I've started my master's along with my wife. So we've both been using our computers rather than it just sitting in the office waiting for Better Off Red. So I've misplaced the charger somewhere amongst the toys and seats, multiple seats that my child sits / jumps in throughout the day. So I'll have to find that. But yeah, if you see me tapping the screen, it's because I'm reading the chat or messing with settings. So I apologize for that. I just want to get that.
That's all right.
So because I never do that. So.
All right. So let's. So I actually haven't been to a Reds game since the last one I went to, and I just haven't had a chance to go. Vacation, and then what's up?
What was, because you went to the Castellanos game, but what was the other game? Something else happened, didn't it?
I went to the one with the Brewers. What did happen? Something happened. And I
Something
don't
happened.
what. We talked about it. What happened?
It wasn't a benches clearing brawl.
I don't think
That
so.
was. I don't remember. Something happened. I know
Yeah.
something happened. With
Yeah, I can't remember though. It's been so long ago, it seems like. Which we've only got like 2 months of the season left, which is
Yeah, that's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. Let's get everybody caught up on what's happened since our last episode, which I apologize, it has been a while. So Winker and Castellanos were voted as starters for the All-Star game. That's good news. The Reds went on a 9. What's that?
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say something. Sorry. The Reds went
Man,
on
we're
a 9.
Rusty. Goodness gracious.
I know we are. The Reds went on a 9-2 start to start July, including winning 3 out of 4 against the Brewers right before the break. So we coasted.
We were going to cover. Like we thought it was kind of a thing too. We were going to do the All-Star special type episode and it didn't end up happening. But we also were kind of a little superstitious and thought, man, they're doing really good with us not recording. So maybe that's it. But now we know
it's
that's
just
not
them.
the case. So we're back at it.
Yep. So that happens, and we're thinking, oh my God, they're going to go to the All-Star break. They have 2 starters. They're doing awesome. The Reds are the best team in the Central. They're winning this division. Like I think I even said to you, the Reds are the best team in the NL Central. I think I texted those exact words.
3 out of 4 against the Brewers, like they weren't. I mean, the couple of them were close, but they were good games. Like they did not falter really in any way throughout those 3 or 4, and I believe the one was either it wasn't really a thing of it just was a bad night. Like it's not so much a thing of like the talent wasn't there. So we were really dead set that they could take it, especially because the Brewers had been in first for so long. We thought they're on their way out. But what's happened since then, Justin?
Okay. Since then, give me 1 second. I'm going to turn your mic volume up a little bit. Talk for me for a second.
Hello.
Oh, that's so much better. Okay. You were a little quiet for me. I couldn't hear you that well. So I don't know if the listeners are having the same thing, but I wanted to turn you up a little bit, which I didn't know I could adjust your mic volume from here. So
that's
technology.
Yeah.
So since then, they've gone 1-5. And that includes losing 3 straight to the Brewers. The bullpen, any hope we had for it prior to the All-Star break when they were just like doing great is gone, which I mean that's kind of been the trend of the bullpen all year. It's been kind of up and down. They'll go on this stretch where you're like, man, maybe they're not so bad, and then they'll give up like 7 runs and you're like, no, they suck. And if Castellanos, I'm sorry, I know you watched the show and I know you got mad at the person for talking about the bullpen. I apologize. Karma might get me for saying that. I apologize, but it's just not great. I mean,
we don't want Castellanos mad, but it's getting to the point that I don't know if it could be if because we're not the only ones, especially at the game yesterday. We'll get into that later, but there were some. It was weird. It was really weird. It's the first time I've been to a Reds game with so much like kind of like negativity,
hostility.
Yeah, like, and I get it. They were getting killed, and they had just won the night before. But we'll talk about that later as we'll get into the series. But it's weird right now. Like it's really weird in the Reds fan base.
I'm going to branch off from this list of updates here to say, why was Jeff Hoffman even starting? Like,
oh my gosh,
I just don't get it.
And it's I don't know what the point of bringing him back was. It's like, Jeff Hoffman's healed up. Let's get him back in the game.
I know, he wasn't even that great before the injury.
He came in with like a 4.4 ERA, and that wasn't over a lot of games. So
I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat on for a second. Okay, let me
do it.
Grab it, putting it on.
It's on.
I think some of these weird decisions are coming from ownership because I don't think they want to be buyers at the deadline. I think they had that run before the All-Star break, and I think ownership is like, oh gosh, Trevor Story's there, but we don't want to pay for him. We don't want to pay for bullpen arms. We just want to ride out what we have or sell what we have even. And I think that's
Right.
why they're like, that's why. Now I know Castellanos was hurt in that game against, gosh, was it the Mets when they didn't bring him in to pinch hit, but then they brought him in defensively? I can't remember now.
No, no, he did hit. Was it against the
He
Mets?
ended up hitting, but it was the bases. There's like a runner on second and third. Shogo was up, who I
Yeah.
guess he's a baseball player. I don't know. And then they didn't bring in Castellanos then, but they brought him in the next
Right.
half inning defensively, and then he did end up hitting again or hitting for
Yeah.
the first time that game, which he is hurt. Like we
Right.
found out recently he's more hurt than we thought. But that was weird, bringing like leaving Shogo in there who can't hit
Mhm.
anything. And don't get me wrong, I love Shogo. I just don't think
Right.
he's a baseball player.
Right. Yeah. We talked about that. It was, I don't know if it was the first Mets game, maybe.
Maybe.
We were both messaging back and forth that he's just not the guy. They really hyped him up, bringing him in. But he's not necessarily the problem. He's just not a
No.
help either. So
No, he's not the problem. He's
No.
just I don't know. It's just a mess. But bullpen, like we said, is
I
imploding.
don't think you're too crazy. I think I don't know if your tinfoil hat's super tinfoily.
It might just be a hat.
It's weird to think that they would do that, especially like I said, we're the hostility at the game. Now, I don't know how owners are. I know they're owners and they have a bunch of money. I don't know how often they're at their games, especially if their franchise isn't doing so hot. But holy crap, they need to go down and sit in the sun and moon deck when they put in a pitcher like Jeff Hoffman or something, and just put on a mustache and a pair of sunglasses so nobody murders them on their way out. But it was weird. It was really weird.
That's the problem, though. I honestly, and I'm just gonna say, I don't think they care. I think that and that's they're businessmen, right? I mean, they're just looking at dollar signs. They don't really. I mean,
but good. How does that equate to good dollars? Like, how does that
they're making enough dollars that they just don't care? Like the risk versus reward of I think they said it would be $6 million to have Trevor Story for the rest of the year. And they literally gave away Raisel Iglesias for nothing just because they didn't want to pay it. They gave away Archie. Well, they let Archie Bradley walk for nothing. I mean, they just, I don't know. All right, we'll get to the whole buy sell thing in a second. So Castellanos, we mentioned him a second ago. He has a microfracture in his hand. The word being thrown around is weeks. But I don't know. I don't really know how. I'm not an athlete, and I've never broken my hand before, so I don't really know the length.
Was Votto's a microfracture in his thumb?
Yeah, I think it was just a fracture. Yeah, go and look that up.
Winker, a microfracture is less severe.
Yeah, Winker, he's slumping. I mean, he was our hottest bat coming into July, and
fell way off.
Yeah. Suarez, I mean, he hasn't left his slump. He's still a mess. And like, you'll text me like, "Oh man, Suarez is done," and then like, and I agree with you. Like, I don't think he's done. I really don't think he's done forever. I think he's done this season. I think just mentally he needs to like reset in the off season and come back. But then like he'll do something crazy.
Weird.
Yeah,
that's what's weird because the business model does not add up. You get rid of guys that go places and turn it on, and that's fine. Like if they don't do good, that's perfectly fine. That's just how the cookie crumbles. But man, he's just doing so bad. But it seems like there's no talks at all about doing anything with him. And he would be the one, before he just completely falls off the face of the earth, he would be the one I would try to use to get something. And it's just like, it just doesn't happen. Like it just doesn't make any, it's like backwards. It's just so weird.
I'm going to throw something out there. Jesse Winker has a 159 batting average in July, and he has exceeded his strikeouts from June. He had 14 strikeouts in June. He has 16 in July, and we still have 8 days left. He has only walked 5 times. He walked 15 times in June. He only has 4 RBI, which now, granted, July. Well, the fewer RBIs is because there's an All-Star break, but the more strikeouts is really alarming.
Yeah.
That's where he stands right now. Man, I'm so bummed out by this team because like it still has the potential to be something special, but it's just like it's not them. I fully blame ownership. I don't blame Amir
Right.
Garrett.
No.
I don't blame David Bell. I don't blame Castillo's slow start. I blame ownership.
Right. And for the majority of it, other than the absolute studs that were all-star guys that being hurt and or slumping, the rest of the teams kind of picked it up. Now the bullpen has it. That's we have determined the weak link. But
Yeah.
everybody else is kind of doing their part. And they just need an extra piece, maybe a couple of okay guys in the bullpen, and they can all do it. I I don't know. Suarez to me, he's just had too much time to shake it off. So like you said, maybe he's not done come next year, but he's done this year. I just don't think there's any redemption unless he
Yeah.
just absolutely completely changes what he's
Yeah,
been
and like
doing.
once Moose and Senzel get healthy, if they both get healthy enough to play every
Right.
day, I mean Suarez can take more time off too. We don't have to rely on him at third when that
Yeah.
happens. Let's see, India, Votto,
The
and Aquino have both been playing pretty
yeah,
well.
they've been dude, India is rookie of the year, no
He
doubt.
has the highest, or he did have the highest. I don't know if it's changed. The highest on base percentage of a rookie, I think, ever. Is
Yeah.
what Lance McAllister tweeted the other day. Garrett in July has been awesome. Garrett has 7 innings pitched so far in July. He has a 3.86 ERA compared to his 7.27 ERA in June and his 12.27 in April. Glad to see him turn it around. Luis
Yeah.
Castillo. What was that?
I was gonna say, yeah, he really is complete 180 in terms of I mean, we were ready to we were ready to send him to the minors and leave him there.
Oh yeah. Luis Castillo, he had a 6.29 and an 8.04 ERA in April and May, respectively. In June, he had a 1.71, and in July, he has a 1.82 so far. Strikeouts are still a little low, but man, Castillo, he's back. I mean, he's back. I think that was like the
Yeah, he
last thing I
is.
said in the last show is that he was back, but it's just
Um
it's really nice to see.
Bro, pull that comment up. Pull that comment up there. We'll talk about that for a minute.
I was gonna click on that when we got to that part.
Okay.
That's in the notes. Yeah, I saw that
That's
comment,
fine.
Drew.
Never
I see your
mind.
comment, Drew.
Never mind, Drew.
Yeah, we have a whole topic
But
on that.
no, yeah, you're right. The numbers, especially from the guys that needed to be the guys in the beginning, have they become the guys. So that is refreshing. And that's the whole thing with the bullpen too. Is there are the guys in the bullpen that have turned it around that were the biggest problem in the beginning. So now we have that fixed, and we've kind of determined the issues, like who are the ones that have either not been good all year or have not made a push to improve at all, and they're just super consistent and not the way that we want them to be.
Yeah.
And we need to do something about that. Again, we probably won't do something about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to say that's I don't know. I don't know. It was weird seeing it in person yesterday. There was just a lot of thoughts running through my head. So
Yeah. Oh, Clark's here tonight. He says the whole bullpen, get rid of all of them.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not great right now, that's for sure. And
Right.
then my final bullet point is mean. I said to top it off, no one has put the T out for Shogo so he can hit. I wish he could though. I do. I want to be a Shogo
and you
fan.
want to root for him, but
Oh yeah.
I mean
He had a rough offseason
have
though. His wife
Aquino,
got really injured and he had to like leave. Do you remember that?
right?
Like a tree
Yeah,
fell
and
on
he
her or
did. I
something.
mean, for a 60-game season last year, he kind of blew up there for a little bit. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know though. He's older, I think, too than we realize. Let me look his age up because I think he's a lot older than I thought he was.
He's in his 30s, I think.
Yeah, he is 33. So I
Oh,
mean, what's Votto? Is about the same age as Votto, right?
Votto's like 38, man.
Stop.
Yeah. No, really. You see it? Is he 38?
Yep, 37.
37, sorry. Yeah. All right.
So, still, to just get Shogo like 2 years ago, though, I mean, I don't know why we hyped it up as much as we did.
He was an on-base machine in Japan. I mean, he just was really good. It's just, I would say it's the transition to the American system. It's the COVID pandemic that probably derailed spring training and all of that. And then it's, now we're seeing what he is. It is what it is. So let's talk about the trade deadline. I can't talk.
Tread dayline.
Tread dayline. The trade dayline's coming up. The trade deadline is next week, I believe. It's the last day of the month. And I'm not familiar with Friday. Friday's July 30th. So that's when the trade deadline is going to happen. That's when we'll see if the Reds will make a move. Clark actually thinks Shogo will get there. Remember, a tree fell on his wife. That is correct. During spring training, a tree did fall on her, and it took him away from the team for a little bit. She was okay, but still scary nonetheless. So, so I think the trade deadline question of whether or not the Reds will be buyers or sellers. I honestly think the Castellanos injury complicates things. I think if Castellanos doesn't get hurt, I think they at least put on the public perception that they're buyers. Well, even if they just pick up like a few scrub pieces here and there. You know what? Let's find out. Let's find out what Nick Castellanos has to say about it. Does that sound good?
Can use help. Always can use help. So me as a player, I'm always going to ask for as much help as we need. Now, where he feels like we need help, that's his job, and Nick's good at his job.
He's talking about Nick Krall, the GM of the team. So Castellanos wants help, and that's Castellanos today with a brace on his arm. How much do they value his opinion with him being on a potentially expiring deal?
Well, yeah, I want to know that he's hurt. That's the thing. I know we're a favorite to land a certain player. I'll go ahead and name him, Trevor Story.
Yeah,
and a piece we definitely need for our infield. India has become the guy. India is the second base guy. Votto's playing perfectly well for his age and first base, and he's coming off of his All-Star break / injury that he had earlier this year. He's batting pretty well again too. So we got that. Moose will come back, take over for Suarez, I think. And if you could get Story, I think it would be a lot, like you said, it'd be a lot better. But Castellanos being hurt, it's almost a thing. I don't agree with the management, because why would you not try to get this guy, especially if you're a front runner? But again, can a shortstop fix the issues? Obviously not. I mean, we know what the issues are. But getting him while your second All-Star is hurt and wasn't really slumping in terms of what Winker's doing, is it worth it? But I think it's worth it, obviously. I mean, as a fan and as a guy who's watched them try to fit a shortstop into the lineup all season with Kyle Farmer, who was originally a catcher.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said the last few years that it feels like.
Yeah. And they put Suarez, didn't work, and they moved him back. And now he's in a position that is already filled. He's just waiting for the return. I don't know. And I want him. Castellanos obviously wants him. Castellanos is probably thinking he'll be back within enough time to maybe make a push.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I don't know the severity of a microfracture.
I don't either.
But I would assume it's something. With how fast Votto came back with a broken right thumb, it was broken.
I mean, it took him a month, though. It took him like 6 weeks.
Maybe he can't. Yeah. But if it's just a fracture and he's allowed to give it time to heal enough, then maybe he can barely squeeze in before it's too late. But again, if he does and they don't sign somebody, why rush him back? If we could sign him and he'd still do what he does next year, I'd rather have that, I guess. But
Yeah. Well, the thing about Trevor Story is he is on an expiring contract, so chances of keeping him are slim. The Rockies are probably going to
Right.
want a lot for him because they can always offer him a qualified offer, and if he walks in, get a draft pick, a first-round draft pick,
Yeah.
which could be pretty valuable. I want to say on the recent Jim Day podcast, they said that to acquire Trevor Story for the remainder of the year, it'd be about $6 million. I think he's on the final year of like a $22 million deal or something like that. Or I'm trying to see. No, 18 million. That seems kind of expensive,
Okay.
but I guess that makes sense. I guess that checks out. So I mean, you got to think about it. Like we said, this is the same Reds team that gave away Raisel Iglesias, a bullpen arm, let Archie Bradley walk, a bullpen arm, traded Robert Stevenson, which let's face it, he was a dud, but still trade him for Jeff Hoffman. So I mean, this is a team that I don't know. They just haven't really valued spending money on quality players, I feel like, or spending money really at
what
all.
do you feel? What do you feel the play is? Say we don't. Say we don't. And again, with our history of letting people walk, is it? I don't know. Is it a full blown rebuild to where we don't know who anybody is?
Well, you
Like,
can't really
is
do a
it build up
full-blown
draft
rebuild.
stock and right? Like, well, so what do you think the play is? Like, if we don't take them, if we don't take somebody, if we're not buyers, and we don't sell for anything, I mean, even somebody that has potential, what's the play? I mean, why do either?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I really have no idea what they're gonna do. If they do buy, I mean, I don't want them to give up the whole farm for 2 months of Trevor
Right.
Story. Hopefully 3 months if you go into October. But I mean, I just don't know what it would take. I mean, I would trade maybe like the 6th or 7th overall prospect, somewhere around in that range, maybe lower even, depending on
Yeah.
what it is. I do know that there was The Athletic mentioned that the Reds would be a good fit for Trevor Story and Daniel Bard, who is a bullpen arm for the Rockies. So if they can make a deal work out like that,
Yeah.
that might be good. I put in my notes, I put that I would like to actually see him maybe even try to acquire another starter. I know that might sound crazy, but aside from Gray, Castillo, and Miley, it's been a little iffy. Not Santillan. Gutierrez is really starting to slump a bit.
Yeah.
Hoffman is what he is. I know I'm leaving a bullpen arm off of
Right.
there. Oh my gosh, who am I leaving off? I'm leaving somebody
Our
off, aren't
bullpen
I?
arms?
No,
Doolittle?
rotation arm. Malley,
Oh,
Tyler
starting.
Malley. Oh my God, my boy. I left my
Yeah.
boy off that list. Yeah, so I mean, right now, MLB.com lists the Reds rotation as Gray, Castillo, Malley, Miley, and Hoffman. And just if you're running out there with Hoffman or Gutierrez in his current form as your 5th starter, that ain't it. I mean, it's not. So I just feel like I wouldn't mind getting maybe a bullpen arm or a rotation arm from one of these teams that might be selling hard at the deadline. There was a big trade tonight. Nelson Cruz just got dealt, which he's not a pitcher. He's got dealt to the Rays tonight. That's a huge trade. He is like a 40 homer
big.
guy. So that shakes up that division.
Another thing we didn't mention that kind of hurts the whole prospect of what we might potentially do. We hurt Lorenzen.
We hurt him.
We hurt him.
Cortland beat him with a bat.
I don't know the severity. They said it was like aggravated. They thought it might have just been tightness, but I haven't seen anything since. I don't know if you have.
No, I haven't.
I was kind of banking on him coming in and maybe helping out enough to, again, the whole Castellanos getting hurt thing and him getting hurt. I thought if he could come in and Castellanos didn't get hurt, then for sure the organization might feel that we need to be a buyer.
Yeah.
I think that plays a little bit part of it too. I know Lorenzen's not the best player, but
yeah. I forgot to put up Drew's comment a minute ago. He said, "Who do we trade if we do? Who would you like to see them go after? How much do you give up?" I mean, for 2, maybe 3 months of Trevor's Story, I don't want to sell the whole farm. I don't. If they're going to be sellers, though, I want them to go all in on selling. I mean,
right.
I'm going to say something that's going to hurt my heart, but I want them to find a good home for Joey Votto. I want Joey Votto to be a champion before he retires. Even if that means seeing him like like a Dodgers jersey or a Yankee jersey. God, I don't want to, but I can't. I couldn't see him in a Yankees jersey. I can't do it.
Yeah,
It would be. I could never root for him again.
That'd be rough.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm talking get rid of Moose, get rid of Castillo, get rid of. Votto has a no trade clause, so he would have to approve any trade, which is good for him. He'd be able to pick a contender. I mean, but if they trade Votto, the Reds are going to be paying like probably 80% of that salary, if not more.
Yeah. And maybe maybe.
Oh, Clark agrees with me about Votto and that he has earned the right to go for a ring. Yeah, that's only if they're going to be sellers, though. If they're going to buy and make a run, I think Votto really does want to win a ring in Cincinnati. I just don't know if you get it with this ownership. I mean, I hate to just blame, the billionaires, but like, I just feel like they just are not spending money. And this is the same problem with Bengals, the Bengals football team as well. They just don't spend the money. It's just Cincinnati, man. They just don't want to spend the money on a small market team.
Yeah. It's funny. There's been a lot of talk in a lot of my group texts about the football season, and it's weird. Like, because I mean, I was a Bengals fan growing up. I don't have really any connection to football. Never played it, anything like that. Just watched it. So Bengals were the closest team, and so I rooted for. Now I'm a Browns fan. Before they got good, just so everybody knows. And it's so funny how the city of Cincinnati, except we were talking about this too. So far, FC Cincinnati has been the outlier. They kind of they built a new stadium and they seem to really invest in the team.
Yeah, they've been spending money on players.
The Bengals and the Reds. Yeah, the Bengals and the Reds, they will not provide for what is already there or bring in stuff to build on. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just the craziest thing.
So Clark said, how can you not blame ownership at this point? And then there's plenty of room on the Colts bandwagon. I don't mind the Colts.
I bet Clark would. Yeah, I was going to say, I bet Clark would listen to a football one too.
I got to tell you, I've been to Indianapolis twice in my life, and that has been probably the friendliest city I've ever been in.
Yeah, like big place. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very nice, like aesthetically pleasing city too.
Yeah. I stayed at a hotel downtown, and they have like this sky bridge system that connects everything, right? And I was there for like 3 or 4 days, and I don't think I even stepped outside once, but I went everywhere. Like, I just took that sky bridge to the mall, to this place, to that place. Yeah, it was awesome. Now, to be fair, I didn't venture outside of the downtown area. But yeah, it's a neat place. Clark says we always have a place to stay. Truly, thank you, Clark. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah, really nice city. So maybe the Colts don't look so bad.
Right. But again, just like we were saying, off football, back to baseball.
Yeah.
We're not willing to put what we need into where we need it.
No.
And Votto, yes, I agree. And maybe that's something they're waiting for. Maybe they're waiting for the whole Votto contract to end, whether they'd still be paying for the majority of it. But maybe when his contract's up, maybe we'll kind of see a turning of the leaf in terms of where we get our money.
If the NL adopts,
his contract's pretty substantial.
Yeah, if the NL does adopt the DH next year, I fully expect, and maybe I'm stupid, I think Votto will be our DH, and I think Tyler Stevenson will be our first baseman. I think they've played him enough there to kind of show their cards. That. Yeah, I think. Which honestly, I know the DH thing is real controversial with NL people, but that's going to extend your players' careers. Because a lot of them go to the AL when they look at Nelson Cruz. Dude throws up 40 homers a year, and he doesn't have to do anything except for bat and run. So yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. I hope I don't get flamed for saying that. Clark says, I hate that. We seem to be 2 or 3 players away consistently. Yeah, and I honestly feel like we are about 2 or 3 players away. Maybe 2 good bullpen arms, maybe a rotation guy, and then of course a shortstop. Kyle Farmer, he's not the guy.
And it's nothing against Farmer. I'll give him credit for being thrown into where he's been thrown in, but it's funny you say the Stevenson thing. I think I love Tucker Barnhart, but if we could get something for Barnhart and we could get Suarez out and get something for him if Moose comes back good. And then maybe even Shogo. Like if you could take those three and turn
No
it
one's
into
taking Shogo,
something
man.
that is needed. Huh?
I said nobody's going to take
What is
Shogo
it?
right now.
I know. Well, throw him in with 1 or 2. If you could turn those 3 to 2 guys into what we could use, whether it be Story and or a couple bullpen arms, because Stevenson, we talk about India a lot. Stevenson's doing great too. He's another rookie. We have 2 rookies that are blowing it up. So I would like to maybe see. I love Barnhart, man. I don't want Barnhart to leave. He plays hard. He still does very well, and his defense is impeccable. But we have these guys that I think we could get something for. I just don't think we will.
Yeah.
I think we should. I think we should sell.
What?
Depending. It's a tough question. It's tough.
Clark says, I'm sure I'll get smashed for saying this, but say what you will, Marge Schott was a great owner. Yeah, she definitely comes with her controversy, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean,
she was a good ballpark manager. We'll say it like that. She really invested in the fans that were at the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does have her controversies.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, she cared about the fans. I mean, he's not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She was the face, and like I said, you don't ever see these other managers showing up at games. Like she literally went and sat behind the dugout like every game.
Yeah.
And like that's the kind of team Cincinnati is. Like that's the kind of owner without controversy that Cincinnati needs. It's just we're on the river of former industry semi-country town, and I will take the controversy.
Yeah, Clark just wants a World Series.
I mean,
yeah.
We're not the ones in hot water, so we just got the trophy, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I honestly think. I mean, I don't know if ownership has made up their mind or not. I feel like they either made up their mind weeks ago and they were making all these horrible decisions, with my tinfoil hat that I talked about, or I think they're waiting to see, because the Reds they play the Cardinals for 3 games at home.
I'll be there for one of them.
Oh yeah, which one?
Sunday.
Can't believe it. We haven't even gone to a game yet, man.
I'm taking my dad.
Killing me. I am your dad, Cortland. What the heck?
You're not old enough to be my
dad. 3 games against the Cardinals at home, and then 4 against the struggling Cubs on the road. I think they got to take 2 or 3 against St. Louis, at least 2 or 3 out of the 4 against the Cubs for ownership to consider doing anything.
I'll help out with my predictions. I know they really.
Oh yeah.
They really cling to what I say.
Yeah. All right.
What are the scenarios? Do we know the scenarios?
What do you mean?
Do we have to win the division? Are we so far out?
I think so. Here's where it stands right now. Of course, anything can happen. Okay, but this is how it stands right now. The Reds are hang on. The Reds are second right now. They need to. Where's the wild card standing? That's not it. Okay. They're 6.5 games back for the division. They're 6 games back for the wild card. Now, the problem with the wild card is the NL West has like a stranglehold on it, okay? The NL West, they have San Francisco has a 60-35 record right now. The Dodgers and San Diego are then second and third in the NL and the NL West with a 59-38 and a 56-42 record, respectively. So, I mean, the Reds are the next team after that. They are the 3rd team in line for it with a 49-47 record. So, I mean, they could get the wild card, but I mean, if you need 6 games to get the wild card, you need 6.5 to get the division, and this is all, of course, 2 months out. Go for the division, man. Go for the throat.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I just didn't know how close it was between first place in the Central to the wild card spot.
Nice, Clark. Good reference.
I have your phone.
And then he also says California as West Californians.
Okay.
Yeah, California definitely is holding down both wild card spots and the NL West spots. So, yeah, so, I mean, it could happen. I mean, who knows? The Dodgers have their stuff with Trevor Bauer going on right now, so they're a man down in the rotation. They've also got a couple pitchers, I think, hurt. I think Kershaw's out till August. I think Dustin May's had Tommy John surgery, so they're a mess. The Padres, they're, I think, pretty healthy right now, but I mean, Blake Snell's been kind of a dud this year, and Fernando Tatis Jr., maybe the best player in baseball right now, but he has got that bum shoulder that has caused him problems all year. Maybe that happens. And then you have the Giants, which are just kind of like a patched together team of like other teams' rejects that they've now turned into great ball players. So, I mean, that division's weird, but
I was going to say, we have, because the majority of the end of our season is all NL East. And I think, I don't know, get the bats going. I don't think the Mets series that played out this time is what the Mets series will be the next time we see them. But we play Phillies, Braves, and Marlins a lot in the remainder of the season. We have a lot of games that we could easily win if we're playing the way we were playing. So we could take a pretty commanding lead depending on how the Brewers do. But we have it's not like our end of season schedule is tough. I mean, tougher than normal. So
Clark brought up the Padres scoring 24 against the Nationals. The Nationals might trade Max Scherzer. That'll be crazy if that happens. Let's see here. So yeah, you said the Reds, they play Cards, Cubs, Mets. They play the Mets again the weekend after this one. Then the Twins, which the Twins are in sell mode. The Pirates, a 1-game makeup game against the Indians. The Braves, who lost Ronald Acuna Jr., which was sad and devastating. The Phillies, the Cubs again, the Marlins, the Brewers again, the Marlins, the Cardinals, the Tigers, the Cubs, the Cards, the Pirates, the Dodgers, the Pirates, the Nationals, and the White Sox. They do have a very favorable schedule for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they honestly could easily win 2/3 of those games.
And I think they could do it without having to do a lot. Winker's got to turn it back on. I know as much as it sucks, the Winker and Castellanos were the guys keeping us in a lot of the games before the All-Star break. And with Castellanos gone, Winker kind of needs to at least get back to it's not to say he needs to be MVP caliber. Like, I just need him to be consistent. I don't need him batting 350, just bat roughly around 300 and get walked and hit guys in. That's all I need you to do.
The Brewers have a similar schedule, but they have to play the Giants twice and the Dodgers. We end our season with the Pirates. They end theirs with the Dodgers. So we have a much
that could be crazy. Oh my gosh, that end of the season could be nuts.
Yeah. The Reds, I mean, I'd read where the Reds had the hardest strength of schedule in the division for the first half, and they had the easiest in the second half. And I mean, it looks that way. I don't know what the Cardinals are looking like for the second half, but luckily, I think all of our West Coast trips are done. We're done with the Padres. We're done with the Giants. We're done with the Dodgers. Now it's their turn to deal with them.
Cardinals have non-conference teams: the Royals twice, the Braves, the Twins, the Indians, and
the card schedule looks pretty easy. Actually, they have the Dodgers in there.
They got the Tigers.
The Mets.
Yeah, they got. They got the Dodgers towards the end, and the Mets and the Padres towards the end. But yeah, I would say in terms of how many games they have against the other teams, it's probably very comparable to ours. And we are now only 1 game ahead of them. So
and they're beating the Cubs right now. So, but only by 1 run.
The Cubs are only 2 games behind us.
Oh, the Cubs are in sell mode though. The Cubs are in sell mode. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. Enough trade talk. Next week's show will hopefully be crazy. Hopefully we're like, oh my god, can you believe that they got Trevor Story and like 8 bullpen arms to replace the bullpen that they had? All right. Craig Kimbrell will be a good arm to get, but there's no way the Cubs deal him to the Reds. He's also expensive.
he's a favorite for somewhere. I don't remember where. They
Right,
have
the
him.
Yankees or something.
I don't remember. I'm gonna look it up. Jump into our. This is the optimistic side of all of this.
Yes.
It's good that Justin planned it like this because these numbers he's about to drop on you are very encouraging. Very encouraging.
So the Reds
Go ahead.
shortstop of the future, Jose Barrero, who we've saw previously as Jose Garcia, he's hitting .303 with 11 homers, 46 RBI, 11 stolen bases. He was in the Futures game and hit a home run in that as well, so he got to show off his power a little bit to the national audience. Nick Lodolo has a 2-0 record on 8 games with an ERA of 1. He has struck out 53 batters in 36 innings. I cannot wait to see this dude right now for the Reds, unless he plays for the Cardinals in a couple of days. They better not trade him. Hunter Green, 94 Ks and 68.1 innings, 7-3 record with a 2.90 ERA. Those are 3 of the big ones. I mean, they're just on fire right now, man. There's it's so much fun to see that happen. Let's go ahead and talk.
I was gonna say there's another one of our minor leaguers that was batting extremely well as well. I don't remember the name, but they brought him up on TV the other day. They had Barrero and another batter, and then Lodolo, and it was like, man, the numbers that these guys are putting up, both bad offensive and defensively, are just absolutely insane. Let's see.
Yeah, Clark says, we always talk about these guys. When do we realistically feel like they are MLB ready? I think Barrero, the plan is next year. I mean, he spent almost all of last year with the Reds, and then he got sent down, but he's really turned it around this year. Lodolo might be second half of next year, maybe even. I mean,
later.
I guess it also depends on what happens with the team, but Hunter Green probably second half of next year. Also, I would say.
They'll move him up. They'll move him up AAA probably at the beginning of the season.
Green's already in AAA.
Oh, he's at the bats? I thought he was at.
He got promoted.
Oh, okay. Well, then for sure.
Let's see here, and then let's go around the division real quick. Do you want to do that?
Okay. Yep. So, like we said, Brewers have a comfortable 6.5 game lead for the division, with us being the 6.5 games behind. They are 56-41 at the moment, and they are 5-5 over their last 10. And they start a 3-game set against the White Sox tomorrow. The White Sox are that should be good. That should be good for us. They're doing pretty well.
The White Sox.
So that's
they're 58-38.
Yeah, so that really helps us out. Cardinals, they're third right behind us, and they are an even 48-48 on the record, but they are 6-4 in their last 10. So they will face off against the Cubs, and that's one of those happening right now. Yes, they do. I don't think we need to be worried about them.
No.
Even if we did, I don't think we need to be worried about them. But yeah, they're playing the Cubs right now. As Justin said, they're winning this current game. This is the finale of a 4-game series before getting swept by the Reds this weekend. What? Hopefully I'm there. Sonny Gray will be pitching Sunday. Very excited for that. We have all of our good starters coming in this week against the Dirty Redbirds, as Clark would say. So that should be good. Now to the Cubs, like we said, are in sell mode. They're in 4th place. They're only 8.5 games behind, with a 47-49 record, but they are 5-5 like the Brewers over their last 10, and they start a 3-game series against the Diamondbacks tomorrow. But yeah, they're in full sell mode. So the 8.5 is probably nothing to be worried about. They're about to maybe get crazy with their studs. So we'll see what happens with that. That'll for sure be a talking point next week, I'm sure. And the Pirates, they have continued to sink since forever ago. They are currently 36-60, and they start a 3-game series against the Giants tomorrow. So probably another 3 losses.
Clark says, I make a motion to refer to the Cards as the Deadbirds and the Cubs as the Scrubs. I'm still working on a derogatory name for the Brewers. And then he says, just on the podcast, of course. And then, the Spew Crew from Milwaukee. I like that. And the Pirates, honestly, aren't even worth our time.
Right. yeah, so the division, other than the Cardinals being right behind us and having probably a similar strength to the end of the season schedule, there is potential. Like Clark said, he now has hope, as do we all. Just depends on what happens. Yeah, there we go. Just depends what happens. I don't see any crazy stuff happening in terms of us for
Always can use
players.
help. Always can
What we
use
got?
help.
What we
So
got?
me as a
Castellanos wants
player, I'm
help.
always going to ask for as much help as we
He does
need.
want
Now, where
help.
he feels like we
Yes. So he's basically saying there, do your job or I'm not going to be here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Do you think that what? Okay, let's do a percentage.
Okay.
70, 30, 60, 40, 50, 50.
Of them making a
What is
trade?
the percentage? Yeah, a big time move. Even if
Right
it's
now-
Story. What's
Right now, with no tinfoil hat, I say 30%.
that we do make it?
30% that we make a move, right?
We make a move. Now,
What about you?
is that a major move or is that just a move in general?
That's like a Trevor Story size move, 30%.
Okay, 30%.
I put it like 45% that they just make a move.
I'm gonna be a little higher.
Okay. You're optimistic.
I'm gonna be
Let's
a
hear
little
it.
higher.
I'm
I
going
am
to say
optimistic.
100%.
No, I will say if they're listening to anything, because that's the difference nowadays too. Back in the day, you couldn't really hear the disgust from fans because now they have an outlet everywhere to talk about it. And pretty much every outlet that I have seen Reds fans on, they are ticked off with the ownership. I know, again, they're still making money, but I'm going to say a 50% chance that they go for Story because the position's needed. If Kyle Farmer wasn't playing shortstop and Moose was still in and Suarez was still at shortstop, even with how crappy he's been hitting, we don't do it. Big 3%.
Clark says they'll make a move
Yeah,
just to keep
I
the
agree.
details going as well.
Yeah. So
Obviously, that number can go
that they go
up
for
or
Story.
down depending on what happens this
Yeah.
next week. I mean, so we'll have a better idea.
That's true.
Definitely. But when we do the show next Thursday,
what
we'll
is
have a better idea.
What is our after the Cardinals? Who do we play? The Cubs. And yeah, so we play two divisional rivals right up until the trade deadline.
Yep.
And then we go against the Mets, who we need to
Beat.
get games against because they're in the running for a top position in the NL for playoffs. And then the Twins for 2 games in the Pirates.
Yep.
So, I mean, maybe if we can come in and take the games we need to take, gosh, if we take 2 against the Cardinals and 4 against the Cubs, what does your percentage go to then?
If Castellanos will be back soon, it goes up to maybe 60. If not, probably 45, 50.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that. That's good for Justin the pessimist.
Clark says 45.
45?
Yeah. If they say like, oh, Castellanos is going to be out till for the rest of the year or for a month or 2 months, then
yeah,
I still think they're going to be hesitant to do anything.
Yeah, I agree.
They're too cautious, man.
But yeah,
they need to make big moves. Imagine if the Reds would have made that Willy Adames trade.
Oh my gosh, dude!
I have him on my fantasy team. Plug for them.
Yeah, I get updates every game he plays. He just is insane.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about injuries real quick. So like we said, Castellanos is hurt or out, if you read my notes like I wrote them. No timetable, but he's not on the IL yet. But words today, word coming out today is that it could be weeks, which would most likely result in a IL stint. Senzel should begin a rehab assignment next week. He's expected to play center field and shortstop while on that rehab assignment. They're already prepping us for not getting Trevor Story. Lorenzen came back and got hurt again. He's back on the IL. Sims can begin a rehab assignment next week. Antone will begin throwing next week, and Moose has been taking grounders before games. Most of that is optimistic. Aside from Castellanos,
I was going to say,
Lorenzen,
I mean, there's potential there. If we get these guys back, even if we don't make crazy trades or do anything nuts, we are the dark horses, and we can maybe make a big enough push to get in. So
we'll see. All right, you ready to get into our weekly awards?
Yep, mine aren't on there, but I got them in my head.
All right. All right, play of the week. My play of the week is both India and Aquino had some pretty good defensive plays, but I'm going to go with India nabbing that ball in the 10th against the Brewers. Just laid out for it. It was awesome. He makes a lot of really good defensive plays. He also makes a lot of mistakes, but it's fine. It's fine.
That's okay. He's a rookie. He's allowed to this year. India's my guy too. Let's say.
Clark says, "Can I just say that I feel like Bell may be the guy?" Yeah, I don't blame Bell for anything. I do think he's made a couple weird moves, but I think the Castellanos not pinch hitting was because Castellanos was hurt. I just don't get why you bring him in later.
Right.
So it is what it is.
Yeah. If he has a team that's healthy and he has the pieces that he needs, I think he's a good manager.
Yeah.
But yeah, India's my guy. The game yesterday, he took a grounder past second base, dove for it, just a defensive hustle play, and got the guy out with a freaking laser beam. And I just love watching him play baseball. It's just, he reminds you of when you played ball and you made that big play. Like, he's excited when that stuff happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, India.
All right. My hitter of the week is Jonathan India. It's going to be the Jonathan India show. Oh, Clark says that Bell might low-key be Ted Lasso. I love that. Ted Lasso's great, by the way. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. India is hitting .321 in July with 2 homers, 8 RBI, 10 runs scored, and a stolen base. And get this, he has an on-base percentage of .514 in July.
Whew, man, oh man, oh man.
Yep.
That is amazing. See, that was the thing too. We kind of talked about. I'll give you my guy. My guy is Tyler Stevenson, the other rookie for the team. I believe he was averaging over the last 7 games 310 with like 4 home runs and 7 RBIs, I believe. He's another one that's just, you like to see it. And we got the young guys. And that's what we were talking about, India and Stevenson and the guys in the minors right now. I'm super excited. Like Clark said, I know we talk about these guys a lot, but I am super excited for what the farm system has brought up, obviously. Like, we've seen it this year. It actually starting to pan out. Again, Senzel, he's still a great player. He's just very injury prone. So I think if the guys coming up can be, in terms of health wise, in India or Stevenson, like, we're pretty solid. We are built for the future for sure. If we don't trade everybody away with the younger guys in the farm system, but yeah, so Stevenson's my guy for hitter of the week. The rookies are getting it done with the all-star guys slumping. So
let's see here. Clark says Senzel is like Glass Joe. And he also says that Bell is a player manager until he cares about the guys. It's in the clubhouse more than winning, and maybe that's what gets you wins. Ted Lasso action right there for you in the background. Great show. I love that show. It's so good. My pitcher of the week is Luis Castillo. He's pitched 24.2 innings in July, has an ERA of 1.82. His strikeouts are down, but he's pitching very well. I mean, it's Malley has struggled, Miley has struggled. He's the ace of the team again, I feel like.
We haven't did the apology, but if I did do one, it would probably be for Castillo, because I was just absolutely ready to just write him off.
Yeah.
So my pitcher is old Wade Miley. He is averaging, for the season, he is averaging 272. He went 8 innings, I believe, in the second game against the Mets.
Something like that.
And he pretty much got us that win. I believe he went 8 innings and he got us the win. There's a lot of talk about him. It's so funny to see. Wade Miley's the guy that gets more press right now than anybody in the Reds bullpen. I mean, all over, like ESPN, everything.
The rotation?
And it's rightfully deserved. Yeah. Rotation on bullpen. It's rightfully deserved. He's stepping up. It's so funny. The Reds did the Incredible Hulk poster the day that he pitched. Let's see what it is. Yeah.
Read it out loud for the viewers.
I did. I had him winning the Cy Young, but that ain't gonna happen.
No, it's not gonna happen at this point, but that's fine. We don't need him to win the Cy Young. We need him to win the World Series.
Yes. Yeah, Wade Miley, he's averaging 272 across the entire season. Went 8 innings the other night and got us a good win against a good Mets team. So he's my pitcher of the week.
All right, my biggest surprise, just how hot the team was before the All-Star break, and just how much it's cooled off. Oh, Clark says, "I apologize, Cortland. Maybe next year."
That's okay. That was I think that was one of my bold predictions. So it's okay. I gave myself
we need to go back and revisit those after the season.
Whew.
I know I had some bold ones on there.
Mine are way off.
All right, let's look ahead. Wait, you have to give your surprise. Sorry, I was trying to cut you off.
My biggest surprise is that they went 7-0 yesterday against the Mets. They couldn't get a single. They got one hit. Aquino got one hit. Yeah. So, that was my biggest surprise. Hoping the Juju is gone or back with us on this upcoming series starting tomorrow.
You know what my biggest surprise is? That sneeze I had at the beginning of the show never came to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never sneezed. It just didn't happen.
You scared it away.
I did. All right, let's look ahead. So like we said, they play the Cardinals for 3 and then the Cubs for 4.
Before the trade deadline. That's right up until the trade deadline. Did they take on the Mets again?
All right, I'm going to pull a page out of the Cortland Bowman handbook here. They're going to win 2 against the Cards. They're going to sweep the Cubs.
Okay. Well, you know what that means. They're taking 3 against the Cards.
What? Oh my God! He said it.
I did.
You did. Let's put the Ted Lasso that video back up.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Yeah, for anybody that needs a good show to watch, Ted Lasso, and the new season actually comes out tomorrow. So we're starting the series against the Cardinals with a new season of Ted Lasso too. So it might be a good omen.
All right. Well, this was episode 13. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share. We'll be live Thursdays at 8:30. If you want us to talk about something else that the Reds end up selling, let us know. Anything's on the table at this point. But yeah, we're live on Facebook and YouTube at 8:30 on Thursdays. Shows go up on your favorite podcasting apps shortly after. Clark says, always a great job, fellas. Thanks, Clark. We appreciate it. Appreciate you being here every week too.
Yes.
Cortland, you have anything to add before we go?
I don't. We apologize. It's been a while, but yeah, like Justin said, any suggestions, because this could be a very different Reds team by the next time we do this podcast. So just be thinking, and hopefully optimism will be a better team and a bigger team. So yeah, we'll see.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Thanks.